Okay, great, awesome. Welcome to the December 3rd meeting of the Villa Park Growth Commission. Thank you all for coming and braving the treacherous conditions out there. I appreciate it. And always fun to have snow over Thanksgiving. We'll do a quick call to order and a roll call here, and then we'll kind of just move through the agenda as it was posted. I've got a couple things that I would like to change, but we'll get into that when the time comes. So can I get a call to order, please? I guess I'm calling it to order. Never mind. Apologies.
That was easy.
I was like, yeah, I mixed up my Robert rules. Okay, roll call. Sorry. I'm here, obviously, Chair Matt Weiss. I will just go down the list. We're going to start with the commissioners. Commissioner Schreiner.
Here.
Commissioner White.
Here.
Commissioner Wong is noticeably absent. Commissioner Stosh.
Here.
Board Trustee Sabri.
Here.
Awesome. And then Chief Stapleton emailed me. He is unable to make it tonight, but he was so kind as to put everything together, print out agendas, and kind of get everything ready to go. So next we'll move into item 2, which is public comments on the agenda item. I believe you've got something to read?
Yes, I have a item that a citizen would like me to read in as public comments, and I've provided a copy to everybody here.
Is this for non-agenda?
Okay, and we have another commissioner walking in right now.
Oh, lovely.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm charging this.
Oh, you're fine. No worries. Ryan, I've got you over here.
Okay.
And if I may, I'll read it.
Good to see you.
Yes, let's let Commissioner Wong just get settled in real quick, and then I want to make sure we're all able to hear this and read and
How are you?
pay attention. All right, Commissioner Wong is here. Awesome. Is this and I would, just to be clear, Al, this is a comment on an agenda item?
No.
It's a
public
non-agenda
comments.
item? Okay, so we're gonna, so.
Hold off?
public.
Okay.
Yeah, just for one more. So public comment on agenda items, seeing none, we're gonna move now to public comments on non-agenda items.
Okay.
Take it away.
Very good. Okay, I received this email after a text message from J.P. Hochbaum, who is a citizen of Villa Park and a former commissioner for the Economic Development Commission. And he asked me to read it in as a non-agenda item. So I will do that. And it's dated December 3rd, 2025. Al and all commissioners, first off, congratulations on being appointed as commissioners. I wanted to come in and give an update and knowledge transfer about an item that was being planned by a subcommittee of the Economic Development Commission that is still in the works and going full force ahead. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine.
And that is a festival being planned called Off the Beaten Path, scheduled for September 12th, 2026 on the Prairie Path. Since this has become a private-driven event outside of the village commissions, an LLC was formed by the same name as the event for this. The festival is geared towards showcasing our local culture via music and the arts, and with that, local food and drink as well. And as of now, we have secured most of the bands we wish to have perform at the fest. 9 of 12 have been booked so far. And they are bands of a wide range of genres and are top acts in the Chicago area that perform all original music. One band played in Riot Fest and another was recently featured in Rolling Stone magazine. We also have PR lined up to get interviews on local radio and TV stations like WGN. To spare going into every minute detail, I wanted to be there to make a public comment on this because this fest is going to require a lot of village assistance and was initially set up to have village sponsorship as well. The intent of this fest is to help put Villa Park on the map and have first year's profit all go back into the village, and for future fests to have a percentage of profits stay in the village. My ask for today is to form another subcommittee to work with me and our volunteers in helping to integrate the public and private partnerships. While I do have a long list of volunteers helping with this, it is, in my opinion, a necessity to have the village be a partner in this as well, and it will highly benefit Villa Park. I think this will be a great first project for the Growth Commission to get involved with, as it ought to help bring a boom of economic activity into the city or village. Our first year's goal is to have attendance be near 5,000 people. There are lots more details I can get into, but it would take too much time for this meeting as a public comment. So if any commissioners would like to meet with me about this or any interested trustees, I would love for that to happen. And subsequently, he also sent me a text because he forgot to add something to that. And I'll try to find it quickly, but essentially, here it is. We do have a rough budget for costs, are in the process of assigning roles to volunteers to spread out the work. Our goal is to raise $100K from sponsors and donors and ticket sales. And that's the end.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know there was an ask there. I think we can get to that in a little bit.
Sounds good.
So I will, yeah, I'll move that. I'm not going to modify the agenda, obviously. We're kind of set in place on that, and I've got one thing that I already need to modify, but we'll talk through that in a little while. So I appreciate you reading that, Al. Thank you. Okay, so amendments to the agenda is 4. There is one amendment that I'd like to make under new business, area 5. It is item B, updates and information on the benefits of a lobbyist. I had talked about putting it together, and I'm still working on it. I'm in the process of pulling data. It's taking a little bit longer than I anticipated to pull some from surrounding municipalities and to get some information on that. But I will have something to present at our January meeting, so please be patient with me, and thank you for letting me modify that. But that is the only change so far here on the agenda. We'll move on to 5, which is new business. And this is the topic that we really wanted to follow up on with Commissioner White from our last meeting, which is talking about the both residential and business welcome packets. So I will turn it over to Commissioner White.
Hi.
Thank you.
Okay, so I, once again, also at the same time, I did not get as far on this as I was hoping to be able to do so. But I was also doing a lot more research and trying to kind of do 3 packets. So I'm getting, every time I work on something that has to do, I'm focusing on the residential packet. But every time I do, I also think of different things that should go into one for business and one for realtors. A lot of my research that I've been doing has actually been out of state. I've been trying to see what some other towns have been doing in different areas. There's, what a lot of other towns focus on are things that we do not necessarily have, such as they focus, like, come to our downtown area, come to our little shopping district, come to, we're walkable, we're with this, we're that. There's a whole bunch of different things that we're not quite there just yet. So, but a lot of them had some really good ideas too, which are things that I will be incorporating in, but haven't done enough research on to really be presenting. So I just put this little packet together, which is really quick. Basically, I was trying to think of what someone who might be a first home buyer might need to know. And that's what I was focusing on, because that's a lot about a lot of people who just get, into a town or first home buyer. They don't know a lot of different things, what to be able to do with the town. So the first one, actually, just the first page is meant to really be, and by the way, I didn't design this. I actually have pictures on there so that I knew which document I had up, which is why it looks like this.
That's great.
But to do, like, the first page would really end up just being a relatively short welcome. Most of the places that I've seen, even though they might have a mayor or whatever, however they have their government set up as, usually it came from the village manager. So whether or not we do that doesn't matter, but I just put for a suggestion the village manager, because that's what I think most people usually end up interacting with, is with the village manager the most. And then a few pictures to be able to show, like, different primary stuff about Villa Park. The next page is actually the useful information page, and I very quickly listed, to give an idea, some key things that someone would need to know. Where's the town hall? Where's the public works? What about garbage? What do we need to know about the garbage? Who do we contact? The yard waste information, utility stuff, and things of that sort. Then below there, I thought some of the other things that might be a little interesting to be able to know, but pretty quick, like quick blurbs, like not really just more of just to say these are stuff that we have, being like the library, the recreation center, Parks and Rec information, and then schools. The second one I set up as other town information, and this is where I have to do a lot more work, and if you guys could help me in things that I haven't thought of yet, it was really quick. But to highlight certain things that we do have, like Sugar Creek Golf Course, something that most people don't have, the Historical Museum. Once the train, like since we know the train's coming in, that train car may be implementing something that has to do with that too. And all these other like different things, the Prairie Path. Then from there, I went into shopping and other businesses. It's obviously one page and it doesn't have anything on there. This will be multiple pages. I'm not thinking we want it to be extremely long if possible, but some key things to let people know that we have. I kind of have it more like in just categories over here, because I was trying to quickly think of some stuff. And the last part, which sounds bizarre, but a map would be nice. Villa Park is so spread out.
Yeah.
That it would be great if people understood, because I don't know if people really understand that, hey, there's a whole bunch of businesses when you go up to North Ave that's still in Villa Park, and that is still Villa Park. So, I think a lot of people don't really, that's just not something that you really think of. That is it in a nutshell. I did make some notes in regards to stuff, because even though, like, when I'm saying something of yard waste, it would be something that this is like a first-time home buyer is not gonna know. You need the brown paper bags. You need to be able to have a sticker on it. Where do you get the stickers from? What places sell them? How much does it cost? We have free pickup usually, once a year. That's something they're not gonna know. If there's any way to be able to find out, because this really is confusing, when's your garbage day? How do you know exactly what area and what garbage days it may or may not be, other than just looking out and seeing what your neighbors are doing, which most people do anyway? But it's still one of those questions. The last thing that I didn't put on here that I would also like to do is a frequently asked question page. So that's it in a nutshell.
Great, very good.
Fantastic. Does anyone have any comments on this right off the bat? Mr. Sash?
Excellent job. I'm sorry, did I
Oh, no, go back next.
I don't know who you were pointing.
It was, sorry, Al first, then Brian.
Thanks for doing this. This is an excellent job. And what hit me right off the bat was when you got to the listing of businesses in town that they could benefit from. And if you remember a couple of meetings ago, I talked about doing an inventory of the businesses in town. That's like 18 pages long, okay? So information like that, as you said, pointed out, you can't really do the whole thing. And you can't just point to the Chamber of Commerce, because not all businesses are involved,
Right.
unfortunately, with the Chamber of Commerce. So the first thing I think of is when you go to the In Villa Park website and try to find this information, which eventually you will, it's scattered. It's in all different directions, different departments. And it may be beneficial to say, okay, once you format or reformat the information layout in a detail like this, to put it in one spot on the invillapark.com website and say, here's the new or residential or business point of contact in the village. And then you can have buku data there. Let them search it. If they get a document in their hand, hopefully tape it to the refrigerator. If not, it's gone. Our efforts are lost.
What I was kind of hoping would probably happen is if we can do a printed version, people are just moving in, they're going to get
Yeah.
hopefully a packet, if anything. If it is not extremely long, and if it is very like bullet point kind of where people could quickly look at, they're going to read some key things, and then remember when the time comes, there was something, let me now go to the village website and see if I can find it again. And then if we have this up here, then they'll be able to reference it again. And that's what I was hoping for. And as for the businesses, I know that there's an awful lot of businesses in Villa Park, but not everything is ones that people need to know. if there's a construction company that has to do with commercial construction, they don't need to know that. So it really depends on what type of business is. So it was geared for, and there'll be different ones, because obviously a business is gonna need to know who are the commercial, you know, construction companies, or plumbing, or electric, or any of those, whereas the regular consumer might need to know, and I didn't even think about putting that down, I kind of forgot about that, like, if there's local plumbers that we have in, or local whatever, just to be able to show them first that you could use companies here first before looking elsewhere.
I want to get to Commissioner Wong's comment real quick. To kind of close out that point, I think one of the things that came to mind for me was potentially printing a truncated version, like you were talking about, but have it be things that aren't likely to change often. So, you know, thinking through and kind of doing an inventory of what items on here aren't going to shift and aren't going to change and remain relatively static, and then we can, you know, that way you're not reprinting everything all the
Yes.
time and having to continuously move through. Commissioner Wong.
Actually, on the map, at the end, that's actually what I was thinking of, what I mentioned a couple months ago. Currently, there are 876 registered businesses in Villa Park. I would actually be interested in leading that to, because this by itself could give you the funding that you want for all the other stuff, where if we created a Villa Park directory with what he's building, and we contacted all of them and said, hey, if you want to be, you're going to be in the directory, would you like a bigger listing? And then let businesses pay for a bigger listing, or full page ad, or whatever else. With 876 businesses, that could generate enough money for you to distribute this, your whole packet to the entire city.
Any
Just
other-
as a thought.
Yep. Al, you mentioned something about putting something on the fridge, and it got me thinking, like, so some of this stuff I think is totally universal, kind of like what you were saying, things that won't change. I think it might be nice to consolidate some of the stuff too into maybe like a magnet, you know, like something that we could offer at Village Hall that has all, like, you know, emergency contact information, village information, some of that stuff, and then that could be distributed easily, and that could just stick there and be really accessible, and nobody would ever lose that. And this is fantastic, by the way. I think there's a lot of really great stuff in here. I think one thing we could potentially add to it is location of public parks.
Thank you, that was supposed to be somewhere, and I think I forgot to add that.
I didn't hear the last part.
Okay.
Public parks.
Oh, public parks.
Yeah, just to kind of know where you can go, take your
Yep.
kids and play around. But I think this is all really great stuff. With regards to the total business directory, I see some challenges with keeping that up because that information changes and it's so vast. It's a lot of confirming. And I was wondering, you know, I feel like the easiest way to make it sustainable, I think, in the long term. I don't know if there's a way to have like if it's online, right? So we have a public directory on the website. What if businesses registered themselves through the site?
I was thinking.
And then
about it.
Yeah.
perhaps there could be some sort of email confirmation, like, you know, once you register, it's good for a year. And then there could be some sort of automatic email. It shouldn't be like a super crazy process to get the information up. We would probably want to have some means of validating the information before we just post it. But if we can give you know, sort of like release that option to the business owners themselves, then they can sort of, it becomes like a self-managed situation. Because it's hard for me to imagine long-term how Al or anybody else would stay on top of 800 businesses.
You do at the Village Hall. They have they have everyone's information based on businesses. I mean,
Is it
if
accurate?
you don't, if the water's not paid, they're gonna shut it off, so.
That's true. Trustee Sabri, you had a comment real quick? We'll get
Yes,
one second. Sorry.
Actually, 40-plus years ago, whatever you brought in here, thank you for doing this wonderful, hard work. Most of that information, the resident used to get this. I can still provide you with the Village of Villa Park map back in 1985 when I moved in here. So the thoughts were back then, the realtors, they used to give you a magnet. J.W. Reedy used to do that. So Commissioner Brandon, that will have a listing of non-emergency, emergency number for the police, fire department, a contact person for the village hall, what information you need to turn on your water, who do you contact? So all that information was there. So if you may, we can have that. Also, Village is in the process of reorganizing their website. Okay, it's in the process. We discussed that about a couple of months back, and it is in process. So we will have a streamline. I think it's a great idea. What we should have is for all the new businesses, maybe perhaps a QR code with the listing that we can ask from the Chamber of Commerce, that if any of that business is listed with the Chamber of Commerce, that they can, just with the QR code, you can, nowadays everything is high-tech. The information, what you did here is great. What we can do is just have either a QR code or just a link to it. I can request from the village that perhaps whenever someone new coming in town, that we can have perhaps a magnet, something similar to that, welcome to Villa Park, and these are the things. So with the QR code, all that listing could be there. So I think we are in a better position now than 40-plus years ago, so great work. It's necessary, we need to have that, so people know that where the parks are, especially we didn't have this Park and Rec Center, what they're, what they can have here. New businesses coming in town and all of that. I think you did a good job, Sue. Perfect.
Commissioner White, did you have another comment?
No,
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just want to make sure. Awesome. And so, Commissioner White, thank you again for putting this together. This is fantastic. I think this is really getting the gears turning on a number of areas. I've got a few things down here that we're going to throw on the next agenda. I do want to kind of explore the idea of these magnets and kind of make a move on that as a commission, probably sooner than later. And then I think getting back to the point about kind of how the business directory is updated. I do think we need to have a little bit more discussion on this, whether or not it's self and or government populated or a combination of both. And I'm thinking that we may want to explore the latter as a hybrid. Because to your point, they've got the information within Villa Park for how the water is turned on, what does that look like? On the other side, we've also got businesses who, obviously they need water, but there might be another way or another name that they want to go by where they could self-register as well. So I think there may be an option for both here that I want to talk a little bit about. We can go through that on the next agenda, if that's okay.
Could
Yeah,
Comment?
please.
I totally agree with you, but I would suggest that the next meeting is going to be another discussion that will then push it forward another
Sure.
30 days.
Yep.
So instead of just hoping to discuss it next time, I think we have some action points that we could start with today. As
Okay.
we did last meeting. And Melissa took on this and say, okay, let's have someone pursue the magnets, someone pursue what type of business listing we could create, and come prepared at the next meeting with that data. So we just move the ball forward a little faster.
I'm open to doing that if we've got capacity and timing, so 100%.
Okay.
Commissioner Wong?
So here's my question. What do we have for resources, for example, for a website? Is that website going to be on the In Villa Park website, or is that going to be a separate domain, separate website? How would that work? As far as for having the village contact all the businesses, I agree. I think it should be a hybrid of both, everything what you guys are talking about. The village contacts businesses with emails saying, hey, we have this website up, self-register, the way you want to be presented, it will be double-checked. However, that way the businesses are able to represent themselves the way they want to be, but then we're not saying they're calling 876 businesses saying, hey, register.
Yep. So you're saying kind of preempt it with the business list, get an email out to the registered
Right.
businesses?
Once the website is up.
Sure.
Now, does the village have a web designer that does that?
So that's a question that we need to get answered.
I can answer the question.
Okay, perfect.
Olive Street Olive Street is a web developer that's located on Cortese Circle, Cortese Park.
Okay,
And they created one about 5 years ago, and that's the listing that I found, that I started with when I went down and started doing a review.
Cool.
So it was a separate entity. They created the list, and I believe then the Economic Development Commission took that information, I don't know where it went from there. But in my opinion, it would be a village listing, initiated with a bulk list that starts the process, and then gets updated in several different ways with QR codes and other mechanisms to keep it up to date, as Brandon and everybody else has talked about. So I would be willing to come in with a couple of different scenarios
Okay.
for that next meeting.
great. So, yeah, let's figure out some to-dos then, because I do like the idea of keeping the ball moving. I'd rather not delay. I want to be real cognizant of capacity, and I also realize that we're probably going to run into questions and blockers along the way that we just don't have answers to yet. So, but you know what? Let's move forward, and as we get to them, we'll work through them. So I think first off, we need to identify a place on the village website where this can exist and how to make those modifications. Like, what does that process look like? So that's number one.
Well, you still need a CRM.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, right? So the village would populate.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're going to put place on village website and process for business population. Okay. Who wants to explore this? Can I get volunteers?
I volunteer.
Okay. Heard you first.
I owned a tech company, so I was gonna say,
Sure.
I'm happy to be his assistant.
Why don't we do that? Let's, I will, yes. So we'll have Commissioner Stash, Commissioner Wong, you guys can work together on this point.
We're neighbors anyway.
Per-
I'm in his backyard.
Perfect. So again, just to confirm, because I'm going to write this down and then I'll send follow-up emails and we'll get this on the agenda for next time. But what it'll be is identify both a place on the village website where this can exist, so working with the village on this, and then also what either the current repository is for businesses and how that can inform and continuously update the website.
Great.
Perfect. Okay. Awesome. I'm just finishing my notes.
Where does the budget come if we're hiring a web developer?
That is something that we don't have. And so that's something we're going to have to talk about and then make a recommendation to the trustees
'Cause I
for.
can pump out a website, but I can't pump out a database.
Sure. Yeah, so I think, go ahead, Commissioner Wong.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, I'm like, databases, something like that really costs a decent amount of money. And a lot of companies put a lot of money in that, and I have a hard time imagining that the village would have the money for that. Unless there's something that I don't know about, because I'm not a huge tech person. But just dealing with websites within certain people's businesses and seeing the back half and knowing how much it costs and the developers that need to be able to do stuff with the database and integrating, because now you're also talking about trying to integrate it in, I mean, you could easily do it where, yeah, you're doing a link and you go to a totally different website, which is then the database, but it's still kind of costly to keep that.
Yeah. Commissioner Sash?
There are resources within the village, there's IT staff that does build those types of listings.
Okay.
Listings and database I know are dramatically different, but there are capabilities within the village, meaning not to go outside of the village and cause a large budget incident. There are resources that we can go to within the village.
Okay. I will leave it up to you, Commissioner Sash and Commissioner Wong, to explore that and come back with potential recommendations and/or what the village capacity, at least from your views, looks like to manage that process. And
Good.
so, again, I will follow up in an email on this, but we're going to mark that down as a to-do on this. And then the next thing that we had was talking about magnets. I think it's just smart to move forward with some of this. You want to volunteer to help with this?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
So Commissioner Schreiner, what I'd like you to do is to work with Commissioner White then on the magnets and identifying critical areas that you've got in here that can be kind of pushed down to a magnet-sized thing. I get one from Road America every year. I'm big into cars. It's got the entire Road America schedule on it and like cool pictures of race cars. And it's great. And you can fit a ton of text on a magnet that's like, I don't know, 4 inches by 3 inches. So I'll mark you guys down for working on magnets. Again, we're not looking at a design necessarily, just content that needs to be on that, and then we can have a design later and talk to the village about what's feasible there. Perfect. Okay.
If I may.
Yeah, Trustee
it would make
Sabri.
sense, especially a magnet like that with the Village of Villa Park logo on it, so that means it's not advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
So people tend to keep that. I had that magnet for a long time, till the number changed, basically. It was, they were a 312 number at that time. So it's a great idea. Village has a lot of resources available to you, especially with the new website revamp we are doing. A lot of information could be added on, like a welcome to Villa Park. A QR code, it will take you to whatever information that you are putting together, what we have, what the events are coming up, and so forth. It's happening already.
Right. Awesome, thank you. Okay. I think we're all set for that. Again, I'll recap everything with to-dos and get that out to the group of commissioners. Thank you again for volunteering for this. I appreciate it. We got a lot to talk about on the next agenda, which will be good. So moving to item 6 is chairman comments. For my comments, what I'd like to do is I would like to talk about 2 things. One of which is the upcoming Villa Park Town Hall, which is going to be on December 12th. We've requested some swag for that event. Commissioner White and I took it upon ourselves to do that. It was a very limited budget. We got what we could. We are soliciting donations from local businesses, and I think that's the ask here, is if you could help to get donations from local businesses for giveaways for that, it would be much appreciated. Again, it's the 12th. I realize that this is relatively short notice. We got about a week and a half. We're not looking for, car giveaways here, right? It's something very small, maybe a coupon for something, maybe, I think we're talking about coffee beans, right? Something like
Is
that.
this for a raffle or for,
Yeah, so one of the ideas that we had was at our table, we would do like a mini raffle. Yeah, to do that. I'm going to get some gift cards to give away and some other things too. So yeah, it would be a raffle.
I'll donate, I can donate like 4 $250 gift certificates.
Perfect. That'd be great.
So-
Yeah, I love it.
So you're talking about gift certificates, not just general
It can be,
information?
yeah, so I think both, right? So we're looking at things that we can raffle off as well as general informational items.
Okay.
So anything that you've got ideas on or anything you want to put on that table and have available to the public to talk about the work that we're doing as the Growth Commission and to promote businesses in Villa Park, I think this is the time. Yes,
Yeah,
Commissioner Schreiner.
I know we discussed this before, but yeah, Villa Park will donate some coffee for the event.
Great.
What is the excuse me. I went to the training, I realized.
You're good. I appreciate it, yeah. Mr. Sash.
What is the deadline to have this available? The actual date or some?
It begins at 5 PM on the 12th, the next Friday, so I would say day of is fine, right? We can figure,
of,
yeah, day of is fine. I'll bring raffle tickets, we'll have a bowl available and can do a mini raffle and give away the rest of the swag then.
And if I still have the floor,
Yes.
you said you had some swag.
Yep.
What was the swag that was chosen?
We ended up repurposing some old, so the budget wasn't a lot. And swag got surprisingly expensive over the past few months. So we were able to get some golf tees, and then we were able to get, I'd have to pull it up in a text message from that I've had with the village staff. I'll look that up real quick, but I'll let you know by the end of the meeting. Commissioner Wong?
How is the village marketing things like that? Do they have an email that's going out? Do they have, because I know a lot of customers we have no clue what's going on with the city.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I know that we got an email about it from just village staff members.
I did see that.
And so that's how I found out, but that was about it.
With that idea, what if this group as a whole created a Villa Park email magazine, and if you guys want to, we could each have like a section that we cover cover something exciting happening, cover business of the month or something like that. So there's actually, that's just maybe 20 minutes of time each, and we each contribute to something like that, and then someone, and I, if necessary, I could be the one that puts it all together and makes it all pretty.
Sure.
But that could be something that would be cost-effective as well as give us a reach to the city.
So, yeah, I got a couple comments on that. I like the idea a lot of having a growth commission kind of email newsletter that goes out. I think that's a really smart move. I think it can be something that highlights businesses, work in the village, to your point, get word out about stuff like this and activities. Maybe the village can't reach, or maybe we've got different types of email addresses that we collect. I think that what I'd like to do is get this business listing done first, and I think that's going to give us the tools that we need to figure out how we can execute email newsletter, if that makes sense. Because once we have the business information, then we can talk about deploying Constant Contact or other resources and how we would do that and manage it. But I think once we get the business listing, then we can move forward. I love the idea. Cool. So just real quick I want to close out this town hall piece in my comments, and then I got one more thing, like I said. So 5 to 6 is going to be meet and greet with the commissioners. Commissioner Stosh, to your point, I think if we could just bring any donated items or things for the raffle to that date on the 12th, and it's going to be here. So just bring it. I'll bring the tickets again. I'll have the bowls. We'll be good to go there. So it's 5 to 6 again is going to be meeting with commissioners. There's going to be Q&A with, it sounds like, village officials from 6 to 6:45. And then there's going to be a larger raffle where they're going to give things away from 7 to 9. So our commitment is really here from about 5 to 6 p.m. on the 12th. Okay, cool. The second thing that I wanted to just briefly talk about in my comments was what you read, Commissioner Stosh. So the ask here from the citizen is to form a subcommittee to work with them and also volunteers and help, and I'm just reading this off, to integrate public and private partnership for this event. I wanted to take comments from all of you on this during the comment portion of the agenda as well. My recommendation on this is I would like some more information about it other than what's listed here, and just see kind of what the scope of it is. Obviously, they have timing in here, and I think this citizen did a really good job of putting this together. But I'd like to get some more information on it and ask a couple of questions as well. I'd also like to talk to village personnel to see if they've done any work on this at all, as well as the Board of Trustees, and confer on that too. Before we proceed with creating a subcommittee, but we do, this is something that we can kick to the January agenda, and I feel confident about. But again, I would like to hear from the group as to your comments on this as well. Commissioner Schreiner, so you first.
I just wanted to say I'd be happy to reach out to JP. I know him, I've met him throughout a couple times. He's come to the shop a lot. And I think that what he's planning is huge and really exciting. And I would love to see this succeed.
Great.
And it's kind of right up my alley. So I'd be happy to reach out to him between now and January, and then we can get some stuff together and have a more productive meeting on this then.
I like that. I'm going to mark that down. I'm just full of project management stuff today. That sounds great. Any other, Commissioner White?
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things that we'd be finding more information out, but since they put that this has become a private-driven event, if it's not, is it a nonprofit private-driven event? Because they're trying to raise money to go back to Villa Park, and usually it's got to be one way or the other.
Yep.
So I'm just not sure exactly how they're looking at it now, considering it seems like it started out as village and then became privately driven. Not to say that the village wouldn't be able to help with it in any way, shape, or form, because absolutely, that's wonderful. But I'd be interested to hear more about that also.
Yep.
So if you end up meeting with him someplace local, if you let me know like the time, then I'll see if I could, I'd like to just hear what he's planning and everything that's being planned.
Does that go for the rest of you? Would you like to have a meeting or be notified of when Commissioner Schreiner's meeting with JP on this item?
We can, but open meetings. would
Open
have-
meeting, we'd have to do an open meeting. Yeah, that's true.
Well, I know 2 could, but not
That's right,
more.
yeah.
So.
Okay, let's do this. Commissioner Schreiner, you can lead the conversation with JP to find out more information. What I'd like to do is I'd like you and Commissioner White to report back on this to the full commission in the next January meeting.
Great.
Okay? Great.
Unless
You
you
and
would
then you.
prefer to be there.
No, I'm good with you guys
Oh,
taking
okay.
this one
Okay.
if you're open for it. Trustee Sabri.
If I may, would you be kind enough to, before you guys spend a whole lot of time on this, have a meeting, find out what his thoughts are, 5,000 people, what the timeline is and so forth. Before we go in even further, have him discuss with the village manager, because this is not for a growth commission.
I agree.
It could be somebody else.
Yep.
So I don't know why are we even putting our effort into this.
Sure.
We need to vet it out through the village manager side of it and see how it's gonna fit
Yes.
with the resources and so forth, and is it a private event? Is it gonna be Village of Villa Park event and so forth? So I will say, clear that from that side first before we move any further.
We'll take your feedback under advisement. What I'd like to do is to have you report back to this commission in the January meeting on this. And then we can discuss with the village manager kind of what that looks like. I appreciate your feedback on that. Commissioner Stosh?
Okay, and I also, to assist with that process, we all have individual questions and,
Yeah.
and suggestions.
That's right.
Maybe we get them to Brandon, so when you do meet with JP,
Right.
I like
you
that.
can get those answers or more questions resolved, rather than waiting until we find out and then try again in January.
I do think there is some overlap here with the Growth Commission on items like this, since we do dovetail into economic development, which is why I want to explain my decision on this. I want to make real sure that this commission does at least have visibility into this and has information. Again, I appreciate your point. We can, I think, gather this information and then help to disseminate it as needed. Mr. White?
I was just going to say, I agree with that, because if this is to bring a lot of different people in, that is completely entirely growth, and that's what we were talking about. So it is important. And then on top of it, you'll be talking about dealing with other businesses and trying to get other businesses in to be able to do this. So
Awesome. Cool. Okay.
One more comment.
Mr. Schreiner?
Okay, thank you. I was just going to say, additionally, responding to what trustee Sabri was saying, I think what I'm seeing in here is, to set something like this up, it's a really big project, and it's going to have a lot of arms and legs and different elements of how it actually gets off the ground, permitting and blocking off streets, and, nobody can do that by themselves. They're going to need to be connected in with trustees and with different departments to be able to plan these things out. And it sounds like he's got a lot of things already worked out, but we need to make sure that this stuff is fully cleared. And I think what he's asking for here is really just sort of an avenue to make sure that the communication lines are open so that we don't come up against something that derails the whole thing.
Sure.
At some point later.
Okay.
And that's, and we got to start somewhere. So, he's been obviously putting a lot of effort into this project. And I think I'm excited about it. Like I said, I think it's right up my alley. I would love to see more music. I love the Music in the Park program here in Villa Park, and I would love to see more of that out here.
Mr. Stosh?
Yeah, there's been two examples that I can point to of events of this scale. One of them was the Oktoberfest that were run in Villa Park
yes.
for several years, where on Friday or Saturday night, I forget, they would have some name bands on the stage, and they would draw 2,000-plus people to Lions Park, where we're sitting right now. And that was tremendous to see that much activity come into the village, and that was in October, sometimes good weather, sometimes bad. Another example is just this last week, Thanksgiving morning, I went to the turkey trot in Elmhurst, which has been going on for 44 years, so they've got a lot of experience and effort in this project. There were 7,000 people walking, running in that event, and that was a small number
Yeah.
for recent years because of the weather. usually they get 8,000 or more. And on the back of the shirts that they wear, and I wore, were probably 25 sponsors, local and out of town. So events like this are tremendous. They're not asking us, the Growth Commission, to run this.
That's right.
Or the village.
Right.
They're asking for our support and our recommendations and our help in getting this done. If you saw and drove through Elmhurst the week before Thanksgiving, you saw signs put up saying, these streets are gonna be closed. You know, big signs all over the place. Police all over the place, fire department all over the place, public works all over the place. That's gonna happen on an event like this. So, yeah, there's an avenue that has to go down. But there's other stuff like getting the word out, getting people to understand the scope of what this is all about, getting people even outside of our village to be involved.
Yep.
So I am very interested in helping with this and hope that we can do something to support them. And I will send my list of questions to Brandon.
Perfect. This is great. I really appreciate the discussion around this. Again, I want to be real clear on what the next steps are, just because there's a lot that we've talked about in this meeting. This is great. Commissioner Schreiner, Commissioner White, you're going to get more information from JP on this event, and then we're going to talk about any coordination that is with the village, liaison with the village manager, discuss kind of what that looks like, and then what I'd like to do, since this likely will involve Growth Commission support and others, if, again, once we get more information, we could talk about this at our next meeting, and so you'll present what you know at our next meeting in January. Perfect. Okay, great. We're good there. Any other comments from commissioners? We're on that item. It's item 7 on the agenda. Talked about a lot. Okay. Staff liaison is unfortunately not here. Village board liaison comments. Trustee Sabri.
Well, you guys are doing a wonderful job here. I can tell that you are very enthusiasm for everything else with the Growth Commission. We are in the process of discussing a couple of new developments coming to town, so hopefully you will know. I will say reach out to our director, Michelle House. She's been promoted from a deputy to the.
Oh, great.
So she is the full-fledged director for the economic development.
Permanent.
Yes, permanent.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. I had a meeting with her today, actually, that she was working on a couple of projects. We added another project on top of that, so she is really working hard. I will bring that to the board attention, that what we are looking for the welcome packet. Another thing is that all new developments coming in town, I will say, Matt, yourself, reach out to her on a regular
Sure.
basis and just ask her what's coming up, what's new. She definitely is working very hard on those new projects that we are working on. And you'll be very busy with those, I can tell you that.
That's good. That's great to know. Commissioner
I
Sash?
just want to comment on that because I forgot, I do have a comment, and it runs into that. Next Tuesday, the 9th, Union Apartment Buildings has a groundbreaking ceremony at 3:30 PM.
It's delayed.
Oh, it is delayed.
It's delayed. The groundbreaking, the project is still in works.
Yeah,
It's still, everything is moving forward. But the groundbreaking ceremony is going to be delayed because of some technical issues. But it's coming. So that's one of the,
it's not been rescheduled yet?
it's not been rescheduled yet.
Okay.
To my knowledge, I mean, I get so many emails, but I cannot give you exact date. But I believe it's going to be coming up very soon. So
Okay.
the project is up, yes.
Thanks for the correction. Thank you.
Great. One last point on that. This is a completely different point. I wanted to talk to you, I wanted to just tell you what swag we got, because I said I was going to follow up on that. It was there's tape measures for growth that we're going to give away, Waka Waka. And then there's some golf pencils and some golf tees. We're creating a golf theme thing. And then there's, like I said, a few other kind of knickknacks that we're going to give away as well. So
Right.
it should be fun. Cool.
I will say, Chair Matt.
Yep.
What I could say is, I will make a point of it, talking to Michelle House on a weekly basis.
Yep.
Just set up a conference call or one-on-one call, and also include her with this list. And our regular meeting, make sure that the clerk's office gets it.
Sure.
Updated and then that could be placed on the website. So the staff knows that what you need to know, what you're working on, so you will have the updated information on a regular basis now. So we know now she is the chairperson now.
That's really helpful information about her specifically, and yeah, I'll start to get regular meetings, knowing that she's in this role permanently. I'll get regular meetings on her calendar. Mr. Stash,
Will someone from her department be our new liaison?
thank you.
Right now, let's just work through me for now.
I mean, staff liaison.
Oh, and Chief
It will
State.
be,
Yeah,
it will be,
okay.
because they're understaffed right now as we speak. A couple of the,
So we'll have an understaffed liaison.
we will have a permanent staff liaison very soon.
That's
from
funny.
that department. She has her plate is full.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And a couple of the staff members, they are not in. And hopefully they're on medical leave or on a family leave. But yeah,
Okay.
they're really working hard. Let me tell you, they are, good things are coming.
Awesome. Okay. We're almost at the hour anyway, so this is good timing. Again, Commissioner White, thank you for putting this together. I appreciate it. Thank all of you for your volunteerism. I really appreciate it. Obviously, Trustee Sabri, thank you. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I motion we adjourn.
Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, the ayes have it. We are adjourned as of 6:55 PM.
Radio.
Thank you all.
Thank you.